So in Pokemon Legends ZA, you can hunt shinies in the sewers. There's two different sewer locations. I'm going to show you guys all the shiny locations and the best methods to hunt them here in this video. If you enjoy this one, leave a like, subscribe for more. Let's go ahead and jump straight into this. Which Pokemon can you even hunt? Well, you can get Klefki, you can get Litwick, you can get Noibat, Skrelp, you get a bunch of various different Pokemon. Goomy. There's a few different ones we're going to get. Inkay. I'll show you guys exactly what to do. If you enjoyed it, again, leave a like, subscribe for more. Let's go ahead and dive in. The first location is going to be over here, Lumiose Sewers. The first sewers is going to be by the canal right here at the top left corner, right above 14, beside 17. You can fast travel to this Pokemon Center, or if you already have this unlocked, you can fast travel directly here. Now, I made a whole separate video on Goomy that goes a little bit more in depth, also with Litwick and Inkay, but essentially for Goomy, there's going to be a spawn right here on the docks. I know it's technically not the sewers, but there's it's going to involve the sewers. A spawn on the docks that if you go to the Pokemon Center right over there, you can go ahead and sleep on the bench and wait till it rains. Once it rains, that you save it, and Goomy's going to spawn here. There's also Magikarps here. There's also going to be a Goomy spawning right there by that crystal. So the best method for that is to just kind of go in and out of the sewers. So you just kind of load into the sewers, you load out of the sewers, in and out. And technically, I'm gonna include this because there is another location for Goomy in the other sewers. So I figured, hey, this is the easiest location, and it does involve the sewers because you're going in and out. So that's for Goomy. Let's go inside these first sewers here, and I'll show you the next locations. Now, you can't put session markers, or not markers, but pins in here to know how far anything is. But essentially, if you keep kind of loading into this fast travel spot right here, and then just kind of walk ahead, these Pokemon will just kind of keep resetting. And so you can get like Skrelp right here that could be a shiny. There's an Inkay back here. There's another spot for Inkay that's probably a little bit better. There's also Skrelp right on that side over there. So that's one way to kind of do it, is just kind of keep loading in and then keep running up to see these Skrelps to get those guys. And then what you can also do is run over here, up here, and you're going to find some more Skrelps, and you're going to find these guys here, Aridos. But there's another location that's better for the Aridos, which is getting the Spinoraks in Zone 4, and then just evolving those. But there's a bunch here if you do want to get those shiny. And then to kind of make them despawn, you're just going to run away as far as you can. So as you see, they all despawn except the ones that are chasing me. And then I'm just going to kind of go back up here. And then, again, besides one that's chasing me, they're going to respawn. And so we're just going to use the running method back and forth to kind of despawn, respawn those guys. Or again, you can just keep fast traveling here and running over if you wish to do that. Another thing is that there's another location with different Pokemon over here. So another thing that you could do is run back and forth. So there's going to be some Inkays sometimes right here. And then there's going to be some Noibats right here. 3 different locations. So you can kind of run there. You can kind of run over down here to check these ones on the other side. Or you can just kind of run far enough to make them despawn and then run back and forth if you just want to farm that one location. So again, the running method is probably going to be best for these kind of 2 little rooms over here. And then for the guys that are right here, the best method is just to kind of keep respawning in the Lumiose Sewers entrance and running forward. So those are a few of the different Pokemon that you get in the sewers, but there's another location. So for the second location, if you don't have it unlocked, it's going to be right here. At some point throughout the story mission, you're going to end up in these sewers, but this is sort of a back area. There's going to be a side quest here. There's going to be a guy kind of blocking the area. I've mentioned this many times in previous videos, but if you didn't see the previous videos, I'm going to reiterate. So we're going from Cafe Woof, by the way. Follow the exact path that I just took around this corner. We're going to be just kind of continuing over here, through here. There's going to be a lady here, unless it's nighttime. If it's nighttime, she's not going to be here. But either way, there's going to be a little path here to the left. There's going to be a bunch of sludge cleared out with a water type Pokemon, or a Pokemon that can do a water type move anyways. And once you get down here, right to our left, there's going to usually be a guy. So right here, he's going to be blocking it. If he's not there, progress the story until he is there, and then talk to him, and he's going to go inside the sewers, and then you can go to his location, and you can finish off doing that with him. Now, when we first spawn in here, we're going to find at the very end, there's going to be the second Goomy location, as well as some Inkay. So we're going to be going down here, and we're going to there's 2 different methods we can do for this. So we're going to go down here, we're going to check the Inkays. Usually there's about 2 or 3. There's a Goomy across here. You're going to hit this ice thing with the Pokemon to make that kind of bridge go across. Now, you can either run back, or you can just kind of go up here, respawn here, and then kind of keep checking. if you want to do it that way. If you don't want to do it that way, what we can also do is just kind of go over here and check the Klefkis, because there's Klefkis over here as well. I made a video on this. There's 2 spawns, one here, one here. I ended up getting both of them shiny at one point when I came over here. So you can kind of come up to like maybe this ladder, and that'll make those Inkays and that Goomy despawn. And then you can kind of go all the way over to them like this, and then run back and forth between these 2 spawn locations to get your Inkays, that extra Goomy, which again is there's a better Goomy spot that I mentioned earlier in the video, and then run back for the Klefkis. Or what I did is I just kept kind of respawning at the sewers entrance, and that kind of just reset the Pokemon as I ran by. I went to go check them, okay, go back there. You do it however you want. So you can use that fast shovel method, or you just run back and forth to get those ones. Once you've got all those shinies, you can kind of run down here, and there's a few more locations. There's some Noibats down here scattered across the way, but honestly, I would just get the Noibats in the previous sewers location. But for this area right here, what we're going to do is we're going to go down here. We got some of these guys. These guys, it's hard to make them respawn, because once they see you, normally you would go all the way back to this railing, but they're not going to despawn. So you're going to have to, if you want them to make them despawn, you're probably going to have to like run around the corner and hide for a second. Otherwise, they're always seeing you. See, they're still pumped up. So kind of hard to make these guys despawn, but there's Litwicks. So right here is what you're going to mostly be hunting, is the Litwicks, and you're just going to run all the way back. So if I show you guys, you can see the Litwicks right there. If I run all the way back here, they're going to despawn when I get right about here. So you can set a macro on something like the 8-bit Do Pro 3 controller. I picked one up off of Amazon. It's been very helpful. If you want to pick one up, I'll leave an affiliate link down in the description below. I'm not affiliated with 8-bit Do. It's an Amazon affiliate link, meaning that it's just like if you use my link, I get a kickback on Amazon specifically. Again, I had to buy my own controller. So it's been very useful. So you can set a macro to just kind of run back and forth. If you want me to do a whole like kind of macro guide in the future on this controller, let me know. I'll do that. So that's how the Litwicks work. Eventually you're going to get some Litwicks, hopefully, and that'll be that. Again, if you're kind of running around these kind of areas, you're going to find a variety of different Pokemon that you can just kind of, if you find a specific spawn, again, you can use the running method of just kind of running back and forth. This place is kind of confusing, to be honest, so you might get a little bit lost kind of going around the way, but like down here, there's some more Skrelps. So there's a couple Skrelps that kind of spawn there. You can kind of do the running method where you run away enough where they despawn. You can see that kind of health meter because it was an alpha. He's chasing me, so that's why he's not despawning. But again, some more Skrelps over there. A lot of different Pokemon down here, but again, like the Skrelps, the Noibats, better in the other sewers location. This is pretty much better for the Inkays. Maybe a second location for the Goomy, and of course the Litwicks. And did I say the Inkays already? Yeah, those as well, if I didn't mention them. So I think that's pretty much, you know, the best methods to get all of these, you know, shiny Pokemon down here. There's also Haunters at the end of this area too. So, I mean, again, you can get you know, shiny Ghastlies in Zone 4. But if you want to hunt the shiny, you know, Haunters, you can get them right here as well. And there's also another Litwick. So those are pretty much all the sewers. So if you followed this guide, you're going to have, of course, your Skrelps. You're going to have your Inkays, which can turn into Malamars. You're going to have your Goomies, which, of course, can turn into Sligoos, which can turn into Goodras. And sometimes some of those spots outside of the first docks location could be Sligoos, at least, not usually Goodras. So you'll have a bunch of Pokemon. You might even pick up a few Magikarps out there as well along the way. Like I said, your Litwicks, which will turn into Chandelure, which is pretty awesome. Your Klefkis. So a bunch of Pokemon that you're going to get. And of course, you get the Aridos as well here in the sewer. So a few different Pokemon. Hopefully this helped you guys out to get all the sewer Pokemon shiny. If it did, leave a like, subscribe for more, and let me know if you want to see anything else here on the channel. Till the next one, game on. I'll see you guys later.